Hi there, it's Elizabeth Harper from sealwithlove.com. I wanted to talk to you a little bit about the energy of Mercury Retrograde. This morning I did a meditation with my One Soul membership group, and it occurred to me, and this has occurred to me before, that we have this mass consciousness. When you have an idea, when lots of other people have the same idea, it creates the energy of mass consciousness. So when you have this mass consciousness for Mercury retrograde, we're saying, oh my goodness, Mercury retrograde, ooh, it's going to be terrible from the perspective of technology, and communication's going to be really challenged, and you're going to be going inside of yourself and retreating from people, etc., etc. But it's like, what came first, the chicken or the egg? We may have noticed this, as humankind, we may have noticed what happens when Mercury moves retrograde, that maybe these things like communication issues particularly may come into effect when this celestial event happens, when this heavenly event happens. But what we're also doing is adding to the mix, aren't we? We're saying, we're going into fear, and we're saying, oh my goodness, this is happening, so therefore that must happen as well. And what was interesting to me was that I was talking about it just before we started meditation and saying this exact same thing, and then the communication system kind of dived and kept going down and up and down and up until I stopped talking about it. And then when I stopped talking about it, stopped focusing on it, then everything was smooth, and the meditation could go ahead and without any hiccups. So even just focusing on it, where attention goes, energy flows, doesn't it? Just focusing on it can create this issue, because then we're talking about it and there's all that energy that comes up behind it. It's funny because I've been thinking about this for quite some time in different ways, for different things that we do. When you think about that word love, think about the word love. We have a universal idea of what that word love means, in the English language. Love. It creates an energy, doesn't it? It kind of gives you a warm, fuzzy feeling. Well, hopefully it does. If you think of that word hate, then it does exactly the same thing. You get that kind of energy, the global consciousness, let's say, of that word, and it makes my energy come down, certainly. But they're just words. It's a vibration, it's an energy of a word. And it's the same with this consciousness that we have when we're focusing on things like Mercury retrograde, or things like the world being at war, or a difficult situation somewhere in the world. And especially in the United States right now, all this situation with gun laws and people losing their lives. And we're focusing very much on what we don't want. It's good to focus, on things that we do want. I've always learned that there's no point being against something. You need to be for something. So maybe with something like Mercury retrograde, instead of being against it, maybe we need to be for wonderful communication, for technology going perfectly well, and everything working in alignment with what we most want. It's sort of an interesting thing when you put people together and they have this global consciousness, this force, this incredible energy that joins with one focus. So let's do that now. Let's focus on something. Let's focus on some, and your heart wants, your soul wants, your mind wants. Let's focus on that. So what I want you to do is, just for a moment, is just think about what you most want. What do you most want right now? What's missing in your life? Is there anything missing in your life? If there's nothing missing, then focus on something for the community, something for the planet, something that maybe people are striving for and want, and it's touched your heart. So focus on that. So let's put all our energy towards what we most want, not how we're going to get it, not all the stuff in the way of it, but just what we most want. What do you want? Is it clear to you what you most want? Do you have clarity around that? Just imagine that what you most want right now is in the most beautiful bubble of pink light. And imagine that all of us are standing around and we are witnessing you walking into this bubble and claiming what you most want. That bubble, that pink light, that pink energy is the color of love. It's the color of unconditional love. Why can't you have what you most want when your heart is open to receive it? We as a community believe wholeheartedly that you can have what you most want. The only thing in the way is the idea that you can't have it, that you don't deserve it, that karma somehow, destiny, is not allowing you to have what you most want. And that's another thing. Karma. Where does that come from? That idea of karma. We've held on to that, haven't we? We've held on to the idea that in a previous lifetime, or just coming into this lifetime, that we have something to give, something to pay back, something that we owe, or that somebody owes to us. What if we let all that go? What if we decide that that's not going to happen anymore? What would happen then? Global consciousness. What if we changed that idea? What if we changed the idea that you can't have everything into you can? What do you have to get out of the way in order for you to truly believe that you can have everything that you want to survive, to be happy, to be blissful, to live in joy, to be loved? I wanted to plant that seed because we talk about changing our thoughts and changing our emotions and changing our words, etc. But how about changing a global consciousness? You're part of that global consciousness. It starts with you. Change it for your own life, and you'll change it not just for the people around you, but for people coming to the planet for the next generation. Isn't that exciting? Okay, so what I would love to know is, what are you most focusing on right now? What do you most want? And what belief or thought, feeling, idea are you going to move out of the way in order for you to receive what you most want? Now, I mentioned my One Soul membership. It's a wonderful community. We do meditations every week. We do lots of other things as well. If you're interested in joining, there is a link below or above to join the waitlist. Right now, the membership is closed and our community is working together. If you want in, then you need to just join that waitlist. The next time it's opened up, you'll be the first to know. I hope you enjoyed this little section of a change in your ideas, change in your thoughts, a mass consciousness shift, whatever we might call it. It all starts with you. Love to you.